I believe we're on. And let me make sure this is turned up that way. I know that you all can hear me because for some reason it went, you couldn't hear anything. And it might have been me just not talking loud enough on the last one. So I'm making sure that everything is turned up. Okay. All right. We are going to begin on this. Oh, and I got to get a pencil. Hang on. Let me get my pencil here. Okay. We're going to start with, oh my, we don't want yellow. You can't see that. It's black. We're going to start with 2.1. Okay? So let me find my notes here. All right. 2.1 is about solving equations. Now, up until this section, 2.1, you have been dealing with expressions. And with expressions, you simplify. You combine like terms, you use the distributive property to get rid of parentheses, and you collect all the things that are the same. You combine like terms. Now we're going to be talking about equations. And what you do with equations is you solve. And the big key is there's an equal sign. Up until now, there has not been an equal sign. It's been stuff like 3x plus 2y plus 8x minus 4y. And all you did was combine like terms. Well, now it's going to be 3x plus 4 equals 12. Something that has an equal sign. So you have to actually solve for your variable. Okay? All right. With that said, let's go to a new board. Okay. Move that over. And let's look at an equation. 4x minus 2x minus 5 equals 4 plus 6x plus 3. Here's the equal sign, and I'm going to put my little fence right here because everything on this side of the equal sign belongs over here. Everything on this side of the equal sign belongs on this side. If I want to move it, I have to pay a price. But the first thing we're going to do is we're going to look at this side and see if there's anything we can simplify. Just looking at 4x minus 2x minus 5. Can you see that these are like terms? And we can combine and get 2x minus 5 because 4x minus 2x is 2x. Can you combine any more? Can you combine a variable with a number? No. All right, let's go to this side. 4 plus 6x plus 3. Well, these two are like terms, so I could actually say 7 plus 6x because 4 and 3 make 7. Now, can I combine 7 and 6x? No. So that's as far as I can go. Now, in order to solve, I want x equals some number. Well, I got x's here, and I got x's here. So this 6x needs to come over to the other side. Well, you can't just move it. You have to pay a price. You have to do what's called the opposite operation. So if this is a positive 6, or plus 6, and I subtracted 6, would I have, sorry, this is a positive 6x, and I subtracted 6x, I'd have nothing left. It would be gone. But whatever you do to one side, you have to do to the other. This is gone, and I'm just left with 7, okay? But over here, I need to combine these. 2x minus 6x is negative 4x. And then I have a minus 5. Okay, I have all my variables, or my x, on this side. Now I need to get my numbers together, and this negative 5 needs to come over there. So how do I make it disappear on this side? Well, if it's negative 5 and I add a positive 5, I get to 0. But whatever I do to one side, I have to do to the other, which leaves me negative 4x on this side because that's gone, and that leaves me 12. Now, I still don't have just x equals, I have negative 4x equals. And that negative 4 sitting next to an x means it's being multiplied. So to get rid of it, I do the opposite operation. I divide. And I divide by the negative. I'm dividing by the same number so that I get, what's negative 4 divided by negative 4? 1x. And then whatever I do to one side, I do to the other. What's positive 12 divided by negative 4? Negative 3. So my answer is x is equal to negative 3. And if you were to take this negative 3 and plug it in here, here, and here, you would come out with the same number on this side as on this side to show you that your answer is correct. That's how you would check it. Okay? All right, let's try another one. All right, what if I had 2 times x minus 5 plus 3x equals x plus 6. Here's my equal sign. So this is the wall that it can't cross. These things can't come over here and these things can't come over there unless you take the opposite of. We're going to look at this side. I got 2 in parentheses x minus 5 plus 3x. I have to get rid of these parentheses. They exist because they want me to distribute the 2. So 2 times x is 2x, and 2 times negative 5, is negative 10 plus 3x. Now looking at this, I still can simplify because I have a 2x and a 3x. Positive 2x and positive 3x combined give me 5x. Can I combine 5x and 10? No. Now I'm going to look on this side. Is there anything I need to do? No parentheses to get rid of, and there's nothing I can combine. So it just stays the same. Now I can start moving things because I need this x to be over here and this number to be over here. Now, as it stands, this is a 1x, and it's being added, or it's a positive 1x. So to move it, I'm going to subtract it because 1x minus 1x is gone, so I only have 6 left on this side, and 5x minus 1x is 4x. Okay. Now I want this 10 to go over here, and it's being subtracted, so if I add 10, it goes away, and whatever I do to one side, I do to the other. 6 and 10 is 16. This is gone, so I'm only left with 4x. Now I need to get rid of the 4 so that I just have x equals, and I figure out what this number is. Well, this 4 is being multiplied, so if I divide and do the same to both sides, 4 divided by 4 is 1. So x is 16 divided by 4, which is 4. And there's my answer. And if you were to plug in the 4, 4 plus 6 is 10, and plug in a 4 here, 4 minus 5 is negative 1. No, yeah, times 2 is negative 8. Times 3 is 12. Why is that not coming out? Oh, because that's, never mind, because I can't add. It's all right. If you put the 4 in here, it works too. It works too. Let's try another one. All right. How about, this one's a little tricky. How about 6 minus 4 plus x equals 8x minus 2 times 3x plus 5. All right, here's my wall. All right, now these parentheses exist because of this negative that needs to be distributed. So I get 6 minus 4 minus x. And then these are like terms, so 6 minus 4 is 2 minus x. Here, these parentheses exist because the negative 2 needs to be distributed. So the 8x stays. Negative 2 times 3x is negative 6x, and negative 2 times 5 is negative 10. These are like terms. 8x minus 6x is 2x, so we can combine those. Now, those can't be combined and these can't be combined, so we're down to where we need to move. So this 2x needs to move over here. It's a positive 2x, so I'm going to subtract it because then it goes away. But whatever I do to one side, I do to the other. So I get 2 minus 3x, negative 1x and negative 2x is negative 3x. That's gone. I'm left with 10. Now the number needs to go over here. So it's a positive 2. It's being added. So I subtract it. And whatever I do to one side, I do to the other. That's gone. I'm left with negative 3x. And on this side, I get negative 12. Negative 10 and negative 2 are negative 12. Now I have negative 3 times x. So I need to divide by the negative 3. That becomes 1, or just x. And negative 12 divided by negative 3 is positive 4. All right. Now, the trickier ones come when they look like this. X plus 7 over 6 plus 2x minus 8 over 2 equals negative 4. We're dealing with fractions. Although I believe fractions should be your friend, we're going to get rid of them. And the way you get rid of fractions is you multiply the whole thing by a common denominator. Common denominator. What number does 6, 2, and 1 all divide into evenly? 6. 6 would be the common denominator. So we are going to multiply the whole thing by 6. Now, what that means and what that looks like is this. You're going to have 6 over 1 times x plus 7 over 6 plus 2x minus 8 over 2 times 6 over 1. Doesn't matter if I put it first or second. Equals, we'll put it first again, 6 over 1 times negative 4 over 1. Well, we know when we multiply fractions, we can cross-reduce. So the 6's cancel out, and you're left with x plus 7. All over 1, which is x plus 7. Plus, here, the 2 cancels out, and the 6 becomes a 3. So you're left with 3 times the other, 2x minus 8, all over 1, so we don't have that fraction, equals, and nothing reduces, so 6 times negative 4 is negative 24. Now, this looks like something we can take care of, like what we've done before. We have our equal sign. We need to get rid of parentheses by distributing a positive 3. So we get 6x minus 24. And then we need to combine like terms. So we get 7x. And 7 minus 24 is negative 17. Now, all our variables are here. There's no variables over here. So the only thing we have to do is move our number over. And that goes away. We get 7x equals 7, negative. And then you divide out the 7 because it's 7 times x. And when you divide 7 times 7, you get a 1. And negative 7 times 7 is negative 1. So x is negative 1. Get rid of the fraction by multiplying by the common denominator, and then you have a regular equation just like what you're used to. Okay, let's look at one more like that. Let me show you one more just to make sure you got it. X minus 4 over 4 plus 2x plus 4 over 8 equals 5. And the 5's over 1. What's the common denominator for 4, 8, and 1? 8. So we're going to multiply the whole thing by 8. We're going to take x minus 4 and multiply it by 8, plus we're going to take 2x plus 4 over 8 and multiply it by 8, equals, we're going to take the 5 over 1 and multiply it by 8. Here, that becomes a 1 and that becomes a 2. So I have 2 times all of this. So I have 2 times x minus 4 all over 1, fraction's gone, plus, here the 8 becomes a 1 and the 8 becomes a 1, so it's 1 times this, so it's just this all over 1, no more fraction, equals, nothing cancels out, but 5 over 1 times 8 over 1 is just 40. Now we can solve this by remembering the wall here. All right, 2 times x is 2x, and 2 times negative 4 is negative 8, plus 2x plus 4 equals 40. Excuse me. Combine like terms, 2x and 2x gives me 4x, and negative 8 and positive 4 give you negative 4 equals 40. Move your number over to the other side by doing its opposite. It's minus 4, I'm going to add 4, so now that goes away. I'm left with 4x equals, and whatever you do to one side, you do to the other. So you get 44. Now it's 4 times x, so I need to divide. And 4 over 4 gives me 1, and 44 divided by 4 gives me 11. Okay. One more thing, and then that's all I'm going to do in this one, is show you that sometimes the equations don't have answers. What if I had something like this? 5x minus 15 equals 5 times x minus 4. I know I got my wall here. I can't do anything with this side, but I can distribute and get 5x minus 20. Now, when I move my 5x, which is positive, to this side by making it negative, it cancels out there, oh, and it cancels out here. So I am left with negative 15 on one side and negative 20 on the other. Does negative 15 ever equal negative 20? No. So this has no solution. Okay? But what if it was like this? What if I'd had 5x minus 15 equals 5 times x minus 3? Well, I can't do anything with this, but this gives me 5x minus 15. They're exactly the same. Yes, if I move this over, they'll cancel out on both sides, but what's left is a true statement. So this is what we call an identity. No matter what number you make x, it will work. X has every possible solution you could have. If x was 1, I'd have 5 times 1 minus 15 equals 5 times 1 minus 15. Same, it's going to be the same no matter what number you put in for x, it'll work. So when this happens, even though they cancel out, if what's left makes sense, it's an identity. Now remember that, because look at the difference. What happened here? Wait, where'd it go? Where'd it go? Yeah, there we go. This one, the x is canceled out, but what was left was not the same. That's why it's no solution. So remember the two. And then all the other things that we did where we found just one solution. Here we found x equals 4. Here we found, nope, not that one. Here we found another x equals 4. When you get just one answer, it's called a conditional. The condition is, the condition is x has to be 4. Okay? All right. That was 2.1. So I still get confused as to where I go. There we go. No. Meeting info? No. How do I get out of here? Anyway, we're done. See you later. I'm going to stop recording and look for the next one, which will be 2.2.